the scenario.
Yeah, all right. This is the fucking Would You Rather Dead Ass Serious pod. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Here's a Scenario. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Cannon. With me, as always,
it's Mike Feeney and also
Brendan Sagalow. How are you guys? How's everything going?
are you talking to us or to the
quite
perspective?
a time
of
delay there in Boston.
Everybody.
Honestly, Feeney, you came in 9 minutes late. I thought I wasn't sure what was happening.
Yeah. I love when
I
Feeney
did?
tries to fucking
Yeah.
get me, but you're wrong, you piece of shit.
Yeah, it's your Wi-Fi. You
Maybe
jerk.
my thing's on a delay because I responded in perfect order. And
No,
then there was a 6-minute gap between when I spoke and Brendan.
Now you had Dave Chappelle joke weatherman timing. You went, "Hi, Mike."
It's Bob. That was the name in the bit.
Hi, Bob.
Yeah. Well, for new listeners, it's not about that. The podcast, this is a hypothetical based podcast. We do what if scenarios, would you rathers, you name it, all that type of fun, silly, goofy, escapist type stuff. None of the social or political nightmares that the outside world has to offer. This is pure fun, babes. So, thank you for listening. Thank you, Laugh Button, for having us. And if you want more, if this episode tickles your prostate just enough that you want even more, go to patreon.com/scenario pod. We do an additional episode of this every single week. We do a bonus additional podcast that is not as structured and it's not about the hypotheticals. It's kind of more freewheeling and very stony baloneyed. And I do a solo podcast. Feeney and Sags put their content up there. We put a bunch of video blogs up there. You name it, we're tossing a ton of stuff up there. So support if you dig the show. And either way, let's get started.
Yeah, and if you want your question asked on the show, then send a message to our Instagram or our Twitter or one of us or anything.
Just text us.
Yeah.
You guys know the number.
Yeah.
At this point, it's been on 2 of my 3 podcasts. So, if
And
you
I
want
think
it, you
real
can
ass
find it.
podcast. There's a
Real ass
bunch.
yeah, there's a lot of audio of me giving out my phone number.
That's so crazy, dude.
Yeah,
It's actually
I used
harder
drink
to
a
not
lot.
hear it.
Yeah. You've had to patently ignore me over the last 8 years to not have my number.
It's a part of your plugs. Follow me on Twitter. My number is blah, blah, blah. All right. Here's one. If you say you guys were single, if you kissed a married woman, would you tell her husband?
Dude, I just drank an entire teaspoon of coffee grinds.
Nice.
I just last bit of coffee. I'm like, all right, this will get me jump started into this question. I'm like,
Quite the opposite. It did the exact opposite.
yeah,
It stalled everything.
If I kissed a married
I'm going
woman,
to say no. Why would I ever do that?
yeah, I mean that's how
Yeah.
people get murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like-
a weird thing because they're basically asking, would you be a good person? And you're like, well, no, I'm kissing a married person already, so
Right.
I'm already a bad person. So there's
Well,
no
what's
way
Turning
that
myself in.
But what
Yeah.
if you found out they were married after?
Then stop
Even-
talking to them.
yeah,
So you,
even
ju-
more
you
of a
just
reason.
cut them and let them deal with their own marriage
Knowing
shit?
me, I'd still be texting them on the side, being like, crazy.
Yeah, you totally would. You'd be like, so what's your husband think about the mistake we made?
Yeah.
Never again, by the way. But also, what's up Saturday?
Yeah. Saturday is
Just
no.
mix signal Sagalow.
Yeah. They call me Toxic Sagalow.
Sorry, I can't help but notice you showed me even the slightest bit of attention. What's
Wanna go
what's going on with
steady?
your life?
Want to go steady? It's hilarious.
Because there's 2 ways to look at it. Is one, you don't say anything, right? And you're totally within your rights to do so. That's kind of their business. If she didn't tell you that they were married beforehand, like if you didn't assume the risk, then fuck that. It shouldn't be up to you to get the penalty. But you're also like, if you're leaving it up to her, the hammer could drop at any point. You know what I mean? So you could just be 3 years down the road and all of a sudden some dude shows up at your door and he's like, I heard what you did 3 summers ago.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is why Mad Men, the show, especially when you invest in that series, is so rewarding and so nerve-wracking and so constant pit of butterflies because Don Draper, it just lives that like, you know, just let's fuck now and worry about the consequence, like kick the can down the road style of living. And it's crazy the amount of affairs that he has, both with his, like against his wife and other married people. And it's like this thing where you're like, you fucking greedy son of a bitch, you had it all, what are you doing? You know, like it's so you watch it like with a knot in your stomach, dude.
I never cheated when I was younger, but I definitely was one of those guys that, like, if we were on a break, I took that as a full opportunity to hook up with whoever I wanted, and also I would never tell. Yeah. So it was totally cheating in my heart, but I was using the loophole, and I took it as a personal challenge when somebody was like, nobody has a good enough, you know, memory for all those lies. I was like, you want to bet? And I'd like, you know, I juggled like 17 secrets of chicks that I hooked up with from my town while I was on breaks with my then girlfriend, not now wife. This was the separate girl, but
you're like Don Draper.
I was a very, very immature Rockland Don Draper. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Don Draper's from Ossining, so it's a little
Oh, he's across the river. It's a totally different thing. But I will say that that feeling is both like insane because you do like, I don't know if Don felt even the slightest bit of anxiety about it. I didn't watch the show, but like living
it builds up,
hanging out with your chick and that name coming up, and then you just feel the icicle plunged into your sternum, and your whole body starts getting cold, and you're like, what's about to happen? This sucks.
Well, like, you know, mini spoiler, but not a spoiler if you still were ever going to watch the show. But there's a one arc of the show where he is having an affair with someone in his building, in their like apartment building, because he lives in the city at this point, and he's having an affair with somebody in his apartment building. And he's already on like his second wife, but and then like they come over for dinner as the couple. And then meanwhile, it's like the two couples with like one, they're both sleeping with each other. And it's all crazy. It's so crazy. They have to do this thing where they just kind of like are dead faced, but they're, oh man, it's wild. It's wild, dude.
Damn. And you never know, like,
it's hot.
Like Mike with your thing where you're like the name comes up, you never know if they know and they're just trying to be like, like, you know, like,
do you know the worst? Do you know the worst thing I ever did? I had again, this is not Nicole. This was my other girlfriend. She,
Mick Cole.
Mike Cole.
What did you do to me?
It's hilarious. So I had her AOL's password, and I checked her email, and this was while we were on a break, and I was hooking up with other people, but I sensed that she also was doing it. Yeah. And I read an email from a dude who I played basketball with against in high school, and had like real, just, you know, this classic high school like ego beef where everything, you know, any girl that looked at another guy, I just basically got slipped inside of. You know,
I love that it's like an email. I love that you're getting, you know, like
no text
over an email. So did that email find you well, huh?
No, Brendan, it's not a quill pen letter, you fucking dolt.
I don't know. Was this happening before phones were around and texting?
No, people had
email came out before phones, as we all know.
I do know that.
Yeah. Alexander Graham email.
Graham mail.
All right. Let's go.
So what I did, I read the thing and saw that they had, like, you know, talked and were flirting and were discussing hanging out, and then we were hanging out at our place, and I was like, can I use your computer? And I opened AOL and saw the email, and then called her out in person about it. How much of a sociopath thing is that?
What did she do?
I mean, she apologized, cried. It was like a nightmare fight, but it was like a total sociopathic like thing where I snuck into her email and then like oopsie poopsied in front of her to try to bring it up and like show her what I found.
Mike's like, babe, who's Jeeves?
A lot of questions for him recently, huh?
Yeah, a lot of questions for just a friend.
Call me Lisa Left Eye Cannon.
You set her fucking house on fire. Speaking of women, if you could hear what women think, how would you use this ability? Would you tell anyone?
How could you possibly tell somebody and that would benefit you?
I mean, you could tell somebody and get a job working for the government or something, become like a spy.
They're like, yeah, we're also listening to them.
Yeah,
You wouldn't want to get a job from
could
the
also hear
government.
what
You'd want to
men
be. You'd want to be like Hitch. You want to be like a personal like business where you fucking are paid for hire. Like, oh, that's your girl. Oh,
Right.
she's cheating on you.
That's
You know?
actually a good idea for a movie. A dude who can do that and is like Hitch, but he's such a drunk because it's such a pain to carry this ability, you know?
Oh, it's
Is this
you're-
Nolan's version of Hitch?
Are you?
Yeah.
First of all, no. He's pitching us Mel Gibson's "What Women Want."
Oh
Is that really what it
That's
is?
I
exactly
remember
what
that.
it is. He's an
And
ad
he, like-
exec that like gets struck by lightning while in the tub, and then he can hear women's thoughts.
But he becomes this like dark kind of like.
I mean, you heard the recordings.
There's no less than 30 films of people who get to hear what other people think and are like, what?
I
What's
have a
going
newfound
on?
perspective and empathy for the opposite sex.
Oh, that whole thing
it sucks.
sucks.
That sucks.
Well, you pitched it.
No,
Yeah.
I pitched a dark, gritty Hitch.
Oh,
Not your stupid idea
Nemo.
with a nice little turn at the end where everybody learns.
First of all, it wasn't my idea. It was a Mel Gibson movie in the 90s.
Whoa,
Dumb dummy.
Whoa! If we're pitching movies, you can't get too defensive here, Mikey.
I'm pitching you a
Ooh,
project that
Mikey.
exists. I hope you forget all your lines today.
I already have.
I hope yeah, I know. You're doing this podcast right before.
What I was
think
saying, I'm excited about
movie's
because
gonna be bad.
Brendan's
this is the free episode, Brendan.
Brendan's in Boston. He's shooting a film, and but he's we'll keep the rest of it secret or whatever. Bella,
Is
stop
somebody
doing that.
messaging you something frantic because you look terrified?
No, but no.
Come here.
It's so the producer of the thing just sent me and one of my co-stars
A kissing guide.
a text message that said, "Hey, you guys should take an Uber together." They're trying to save money, so they're like, "Hey, you guys should take an Uber together," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Ugh, I don't want to fucking do that. I will, but that was just a little annoying. It's just a little peek into my world, a little peek into what goes on in this fucking haunted house."
I love
is
how
that I saw that.
Brendan is such an artist. He talks about being an artist all the time. It's all about the art. It's all about the process. It's all about being as authentic
really
in
is.
the moment as possible. It's his first acting role ever,
Yep.
and he's already against building chemistry with his co-star.
I already did. We talked. Me and this guy talked.
Yeah, I think you're mispronouncing narcissist, Mike. You keep saying artist. It's pronounced narcissist.
Narcissist.
Me.
It really is. I was on the bus yesterday going like, I am a full-blown narcissist. I was just thinking about it. But that's not what this is about. Let's go to some questions.
We take deep dives into each other's psyche as well.
Yeah. So I think if I could hear what women think, it would make a lot of things a lot easier.
Would it though?
And they'd be going like, wow, I really don't like this guy. And I'd be like, I can change her.
as the Mel Gibson classic has shown us, it's very burdensome, and then in the end, it turns out that it's better to not know.
Right.
I would never want to know. I'd fucking blow my brains out.
How awful would it be for you to be sleeping with a woman and she's giving the facade of having a good time and internally is like, this is boring?
I mean, I would tell everyone immediately that I could hear their thoughts. How do you not?
Brendan getting so defensive. I can hear you.
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah. Why would you think that about me? What?
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a superpower because I was struck by lightning. And instead of
In a
killed
tub.
like everyone else, I got a weird...
I've been cursed.
I've been cursed.
Yeah.
I've
With
wished
two
I
consciouses. Yeah. I'm conscious on 2 levels.
was dead. Okay. If you are given $1 trillion, but you can only buy one thing, what do you buy? $1 trillion. What costs?
Oh my God.
What one thing costs $1 trillion? A house? I buy $1 trillion house.
Iran.
Israel.
I was gonna say buy a fucking Oh, first I was thinking like just build a insane palatial estate on a incredible amount of land. But then I was thinking just buy a fucking island.
Yeah, that would be fucking awesome. You could buy a country with $1 trillion.
The problem is that if you bought an island, then that's your purchase, and you then have to take from your own pool of money to make your house. Do you know what I mean? Because if you can only buy one thing,
what if I buy an already existing island that already has the infrastructure?
I heard
just
Johnny
go, that
Depp's
house
island is for sale.
For how
Is
much?
it?
Probably. He's hemorrhaging money with all of these frivolous lawsuits.
Johnny Depp's
Are
like,
they frivolous or are they justice?
I think he and her are equal pieces of trash that were both beating each other physically and emotionally.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
That's my style.
Oh, in relationship?
No. Yes. You could buy Johnny Depp's island for, I don't know. How much is it? Can we look it up?
I'd buy Neverland Ranch.
I think you can get that for less than $1 trillion.
Yeah.
You might be able to get it for a song now.
Yeah. We should buy Neverland Ranch and have our own little like TikTok house.
Dude.
At
oh
Neverland
my
Ranch.
God. Call it the Rump Ranch. Busted Rump Ranch.
Yeah, use one of our cards and have it as a tax write-off for the show.
That would be pretty sweet, actually, if it became the Here's the Scenario Ranch and we just did haunted tours through all the ghoulish rape rooms.
Welcome to the Neverland Ranch haunted tour.
Yeah. Press this button and all of a sudden you'll be swung into a kid's playroom. That's
Holy shit. Do you know that his island is Johnny Depp's island's only $3.6 million?
Wow.
I mean, that can't be
It's-
stable then.
It's only 45 acres, and he calls it Fuck Off Island, explaining how he intends for it to remain private.
That's cool.
I call it fuck off island.
Doesn't
he-
have an accent, but
He does kind of have an accent though, doesn't he? He fakes a British accent.
He's a mumble rapper that talks.
He's got a little bit down here. Where it's
No, you're just
he's
doing
just like,
Keith
let me-
He's
He's just doing Keith Richards.
Yes, in
No,
Pirates
that's
of
in
the
Pirates of the
Caribbean.
yeah.
You're talking about. Have you seen any other Johnny Depp movies?
I don't think you've seen
Have
Johnny
I?
Depp speak.
I have. I used to be obsessed with Johnny Depp.
I could
really
see
made that
Yeah.
my fucking
Ugh.
personality.
I bet you wore fucking 6 long necklaces at once.
Scarves and bracelets.
No, I never liked the way he dressed, but I always was like, he's such a good actor, dude. And now it's like, what the fuck? It's like,
He is a pretty good actor.
Why am I
in some
hitching
things.
my
Remember
ride?
Rear Window?
Was he in Rear
Not Rear Window. What's that other one that he had?
What's
where
he
he was like a
Gilbert
writer?
Oh, oh yeah. That
Are you
was a
about to
good
say the
movie.
worst movie that he's been in?
No, that was a good movie where
The Rum Diaries?
no,
No, I don't know. What
Oh,
that
okay,
is.
good, because that was awful. That was about that was
It
his
was like Hunter S.
kind of-
Thompson.
yeah, Hunter S. Thompson, his
Yeah.
sequel.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
It's called like Back Window or something. Okay.
It's about a window, dude. There's a fucking
there's a window in the
name,
title,
and I'm gonna
okay?
figure it out. goddamn.
Skylight.
Farther. Okay. Next question.
Secret window.
Secret Window. That was a good movie. You've been single for a while now, and you decide that you will go traveling overseas for a year in hope of meeting someone. Everything is paid for and booked. A week before you go, you meet the partner of your dreams. Do you stay or go? There's no chance of getting your money back from the trip. I mean, you go. You fucking go. You
Yeah.
just go, sorry, sweetheart. I'll be back in a couple of days.
Days? No, it sounds like it's a couple month long
yeah, it's a
excursion.
Oh, yeah.
But also be like, come along, or like, hey, meet me in Galway at one of the stops.
That is
Yeah.
it. That's it. It's not
That's
come
it.
along. It's, hey, on my 3rd week or 4th week, why don't you meet me in whatever? So that gives you some time to sow your oats, plunder through Europe.
Yeah.
And if you meet somebody, you cancel her. And then if you don't, you look forward to the fact that you're going to spend a romantic week in Europe with your chick.
I love that you say you cancel her. It's like,
Yeah,
you
you're like, you're me too'd.
Yeah,
You're out.
you release a bunch of recordings and you get her fired.
Yeah, she's taking revenge porn at some point, and you just Put that out there.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Because it's like, you got to go on the trip. If you were like, I canceled my whole trip for you, she'd be like, ew, why?
Right.
That sucks.
Well, that's like when people try to get cute with me, which is why I had to start talking about like how Nicole and I have dated other people. But they're like, oh, so you like met in middle school and now you're married to the girl you met in middle school? And it's like, yeah, we've each like lived life, you dumb fuck. Like, it's not like we're psychotic and have never never exited our little bubble. It's like we've each gone out there and seen what the world has to offer.
Well, that's always the follow-up question. Like, if I'm ever
why were both of you smiling when I said get cute? If you didn't think I was coming back to that, you're out of your mind.
we successfully just dodged out of that.
You'll never beat me.
Never beat me.
I was like, I guess he's just moving past it because he's on a full-fledged point. And And by the way,
I've gotten so good at being angry that I just shelf anger to then bring to the front after my point is done.
I think we both thought it was funny that you were like, when people try to get cute with me.
Yeah, you're like Dirty Harry.
Every once in a while. That is fun though, that I have an assembly line of rage that is like
Yeah, it's just Charlie Chaplin in the gears. That's so funny. But yeah, that is the follow-up question after you talk to somebody who's been like, yeah, I'm married to the person I met in middle school. My follow-up question is always like, well, was it off and on? Like, where did you guys get around or anything like that? You know, and when they say no,
get around,
I get around.
Nothing worse than trying to harmonize over Zoom, huh? We're all just
by 3
5
non-musicians
seconds off.
Everybody's just a second off. Yeah, okay. I think we could all convoy on that last one, right? Okay, here's the next one. How would you describe the color blue to a blind man?
What is this, my joke?
Is this your joke?
Yeah, I said I had on my album about being friends with the blind guy, trying to describe the color yellow.
All right, we'll do it with blue.
Well, it's kind of the joke, is that it doesn't can't really do it as much, you know.
No,
but I would
bit.
say
do
blue.
the bit.
Yeah, guys, they say this New York City. If you can survive here, you can survive anywhere. The blue, though, I would say, you know, blue is actually a much easier one to describe, because I would go, you know, it's the color of sky, it's calming, and it's the color of the ocean. We also associate it, you know, with a tranquil, with early morning, with a lot of people associate it with sadness, but
there's also
I like
something
it. It's
like
my favorite color.
I have a question
about it.
I have a question. Do blind people, do they see different shades of like black or whatever in their eyelids? You know what I mean? Like when we're outside and we kind of like look towards the sun with our eyes closed, and it kind of, you get the solar flare a little bit, and then it kind of, you know, moves across your eyes. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do blind people get that? Or they're just fucking dead dark?
I think there's different levels of blind. I think.
Well, of course there is.
Right.
But I'm talking about like, you know, blind.
Born blind, I don't know that there is.
Yeah, born blind, I think it's probably just dark, and then every once in a while, like, the darkness is kind of like a little bit of a light. Like, if the sun hits the darkness, it's like it's a little bit lighter.
Oh, so it's like your head.
I just thought of
it's almost all dark, and then sometimes there's light.
Yeah, it's what's going on in my brain.
Yeah,
there you go.
I just thought of a great action movie, Jason Bourne Blind. And then he's just like, he loses his sight. Now he's got to fucking kung fu his way out of it until the government gives him his sight back.
It's just him fighting lamps for an hour and a half.
Yeah, he's got to fight his way back to sight.
Yeah. He falls off of a curb and breaks his ankle, and they're like, "Who is that?
Who is that?"
That's Jason.
And all of a sudden, they would cut to like a very dramatic moment of him in like a telephone booth, being like, "I remember everything," and then they're like, Whoa, he's coming back.
Yeah.
Jason Bourne against his greatest enemy yet.
And then
a raised curb.
Yeah. I like the scene of him at the payphone. He's like, I remember everything. And then the person on the other end's like, sir, I think you dialed one of the numbers wrong.
Yeah. I'm coming for you. Please don't. This is a Quiznos.
Bell peppers.
Yeah. Cannon, how would you describe blue?
I'd be like, that pit in your stomach that you feel after something ultimately sad and depressing? It's that, but in sight.
But but our Earth is covered in it.
That's just the reflection, dog.
Depends on the blue.
Atmosphere.
I would say sometimes it feels light and it's nice and sometimes
blue light is scientifically proven to keep people awake. That's why they tell people not to go on their phones in bed before bed and stuff like that. Because the blue of blue lights is it's like some weird thing.
So why don't they change the light that is coming out of our
They
phones?
do. They have you have the option on your phone to switch it to like that nighttime mode where everything's like a little yellowy. Do you notice that? Or it's like it turns to like those warm tones. You can set that up on your phone and it absolutely makes a huge difference.
Well, and also the phone people wanting you to be off your phone is like or trying to get you healthy and not sleep is like tobacco putting a Surgeon General's warning because they think that's actually going to get you to stop smoking.
Yeah.
They have no interest in getting you off the phone or asleep.
Exactly.
They have that just to placate people.
And also, I think to cover their own ass for when they eventually get, some sort of their under-
tribunal, and we all hang. We just fucking lop the heads off of all the social media heads.
as they stand there with the noose around their neck, where they're like, "But we put in the yellow light."
It started off as a thing we could do to connect.
All right, here's another one. A building is on fire. Einstein and a baby are inside. Who would you save? Einstein and a baby.
The baby.
The old tale as old as time.
The baby.
It
That baby
depends
could
if
be anybody. Maybe even
That
Einstein.
baby could be a piece of shit.
Yeah, but if Einstein has already created, it depends where in Einstein's life. If his stuff has already been created like his invention's already out there, then peace. But if it's like this is the day that he invents, the theory of relativity or whatever, then we're like, sorry, baby. Gotta do this one for mankind and science.
Yeah.
Just Einstein with the Doc Brown Band-Aids on his head. He hit it on the toilet, and he's like, I just came up with the flux capacitor.
Depends on how old he is too. Like if I'm getting him out of a building and I'm like, let's go, and he's just slow old guy walking out, I might just be like, fuck off, and just grab the baby by the fucking back of the neck.
That baby's Hitler, though.
Baby Hitler. That's a question. Who do you save?
But then,
old
is it a
Einstein
question?
or baby Hitler?
Well, it is in the sense that Brendan could save baby Hitler and then make a point in staying connected with that baby post rescue, and then once that baby is old enough to comprehend, be like, I'm a Jew.
Yeah. Or
And then he goes, I've been lied to and I'm mad about it.
yeah.
What should I do with all this rage?
Yeah, it just makes him get there quicker.
Yeah.
He doesn't even try
He's
painting.
at 19. He's doing it at 19.
It's just a much more early and energetic Hitler.
Yeah. Oh, worse. He's got more energy. Yeah, or it completely changes everything, but he still has that homicidal rage in him where he kills everyone who doesn't look like a fat white,
Yeah.
meat
Oh, it
carrot
turns.
guy.
It turns. So you're all of a sudden the perfect specimen to him. He's like, oh,
blue eyes, blonde hair.
I saw it when I was
two
a
necks.
baby. Yes, it's very voluptuous boy. That is the master race.
Boy.
Voluptuous boy. Voluptuous boy. I already know. Oh, okay. If you had to choose,
Oh, hold on, Sagalow. Did you tell Feeney? Because Feeney, I was, Sagalow said got whatever commented on Instagram about somebody being like, well, that was funny until the goodbye Jews thing. It was a story that he told on Irish Goodbye.
Yeah.
And Brendan wrote, he was like, I'm Jewish. And Rosebud, I guess he talked to her and she's like, that's so funny. What a good response. And Brendan's like, I am. And Rosebud laughed because she obviously had no clue.
Yeah.
And then I said to Brendan, when he's retelling me the story, I'm like, I mean, you kind of are. Like, you're not in the religion. Like, hold on, let me retell the story.
Yeah.
And I was like, your mother's not Jewish. And he's like, yeah, you're right. But, I told my dad once that, I'm actually not Jewish. And he goes, you're a Jew. He just demanded that
my
Brendan
dad
is a
got
Jew
real aggro about it. My dad was like, you're a Jew. he really wants me to,
You weren't
find your
raised a
roots.
Jew. You celebrated Christmas. You never got the bris or any other sort of Jewish rite of passage. I don't. Have you ever even been in a temple?
Wait, you're wearing a turtleneck?
No.
No, you still get circumcised, but he didn't get the bris.
Oh, you were just cold hospital cut?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's better. I'm sure they didn't try to suck you clean afterwards.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
You're like, that would have been cool.
That would have been much cooler.
Then you could say, I already have been blown. I got my first blowjob day 3 of life.
Guys, I am Jewish. I was blown by a rabbi.
What made it weird about that other person commenting that thing, by the way, is
She
just
was
the
a
fact
comic.
that that's what makes it very
That's fucking
strange.
weird, dude.
Well, and how wasn't the other stuff racist? It was like, if you have a problem with one, you got to have a problem with the whole thing.
I don't think it was bad at all.
It's not bad. I'm just saying, if you have a problem with one, it seems pretty odd to not, who gives a shit? We've talked about it ad nauseum before. Next question.
Yeah. Anyway, if you had to choose to either change sex or change race, which would you choose to change and why?
Sex or race?
I guess
Race.
why and what race would you choose?
I would choose any but this. But and it's only career-wise. It has nothing to do with like obvious social injustice.
Ethnically ambiguous would be great.
That would be great. I'm just like, I'm V white. I could kind of pass as like, if my name was Amir, I feel like I could play a little Middle Eastern, but only in the summer when I'm slightly tan. What happened?
What happened?
No, I'm asking you what happened.
Where did you
walked away?
Plug my fucking computer in.
It's crazy to me
Relax.
that's not
Fucking relax,
something you take
dude.
care of before the show.
Relax.
You see your computer on 36%, you're like, I have a solid 28 minutes.
We were already fucking going when I noticed, and it was like either way, I'm getting shit on for it. Fucking relax.
You know, one way
not
you're
either
not getting shit on?
Yeah, thank you, Feeney.
Shut up. Get over it.
Oh.
I don't even know if this is gonna work. The only thing bad about this hotel is that there you go. Okay, good. And
that
we're
the
back, and I'm back. There you go.
Is the what?
The outlets are in such weird places where it's like I put the fucking the large square in, and it's like half out because it's so heavy because it's up against a wall, like floating. Strange.
What do we got?
Okay. I would.
You guys
change-
have to. Yeah, you guys also have to answer that question.
Oh,
I'm not
I would
just
pick
saying
I would
changed
pick that
race.
same one, and like I said, go ethnically ambiguous. That's the.
You'd go full Pete Davidson.
No, I want to
Yeah,
be.
I don't really think he's ethnically ambiguous as much. So he's almost. I would go like a couple shades. Shades
of gray?
tanner, like that, like Mediterranean, like a nice
Right.
like olive skin.
Yeah.
Like Erica is like nobody ever can get. They go Italian, then in the summer they're like Dominican. Like they go everywhere. Like she gets Egyptian, she gets like Middle Eastern. She gets everything people ask of her. It's pretty.
She's probably all of that anyway. Like if you did the 23andMe, I'm
she
sure.
did do that, and she
Because
does
Nicole
have
is like,
some-
she's super Italian, but she's got like a ton of Middle Eastern, Sephardic Jew in there. She's all over the map. She loves olives.
All of them.
I think I would change my race to like that, like the Mediterranean, like Hawaiian would be really kind of cool.
You just
know?
want to be in Moana, the live play.
I would love.
That's
to be
also
Moana.
not even close to the Mediterranean, but I would like to be in the Mediterranean, Hawaii, something like that. It'd be,
I would
it's
just
like
love
literally
to
the other
be-
side of the planet.
A Greek Hawaiian.
A Greek, like, something Greek like the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hawaiian would be fucking cool. Get all those gnarly tattoos and shit, and just be Maui, or The Rock.
You should get
Everything
it.
you
You should
said.
get one of the stick and poke tats.
Those sound like hell. I've
Awful.
wanted to. I want to get one of those, but they seem like so painful, and they're hours and hours long.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
You invent a food product where you mix together equal amounts of butter, and I can't believe it's not butter. What do you name it? Feeney muted himself.
I know. I asked him to unmute.
Well, I have things going on here, so I would mute it for a reason is to not ruin the integrity of the show. So
Yeah, right? Right? Do we have to point everything out?
You did too, Brendan.
I know.
No,
I know,
Brendan,
but
he
I'm on
muted
your
his
side,
mic
too.
and stayed in frame. You took a walk around the neighborhood and then came back.
I would. If it's butter and I can't believe it's not butter, isn't that margarine? I used to have a lot of country
That's the name of the product. Isn't that margarine?
Yep, that's my answer.
That's my convoy. I'm 100%.
Yeah.
Can't get better than that. What an awful question.
That's a bad question. All right, you're walking in a forest, and okay, we did this already. We've done a lot of these already. If you have the power, fuck, it's like some of these are just a little off of things that we've done. Like if you had the power to change an event in the past, what would it be?
Yeah, that's something that we've done a bunch. I feel like.
Yeah.
The other version of that was if you could change the past, what would you do?
Okay. Yeah. Here's
It's literally the
Here's a
exact
better
same
one. Here's a
question.
better one. Would you rather correct a mistake from the past or receive an answer from the future? What do you think?
Receive an answer from the future.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about this yesterday. I was showing
no
Brendan
regrets.
when we were driving. I think we were driving back from Atlantic City. I don't know if you have this, Feeney, but I'm every once in a while I get into affirmations, but I don't remember them or even practice them. I actually just have them pop up on my calendar, and then I just angrily swipe them away and forget the entire message. But Brendan saw that it was. I had one that was like, "Dude, have fun," and then the other one was just, "Please enjoy yourself today," or something.
Yeah.
And then he just watched me like just dismiss them immediately through gritted teeth and a COVID vaccine. And he was like, "Well, those seem to be working."
That's so funny. I don't. I never have. I've never put, especially in. You put them in your calendar. You're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah. I
fun.
mean, we all have little like things that like
They
I
really
do
mean
that
something
thing,
to
too.
me. They really mean something to me when I first put them in. But then,
Well, I think
like,
that's what it's for, then, right?
yeah, but like everything, it should kind of. I was hoping that it would like trigger me back to the place I was when I put it in. Like I actually. I wrote this in a notebook. This is how mentally ill I am, right? I forget what day it was. I think it was actually like right after my special came out, or I had done all this work and I accomplished something in the sense that I created and put out something. And I just wrote the date and I said, "Remember you were happy today." And I wrote that in the back of my notebook. And the other day I'm like flipping through it and I saw that and I was like, that guy is such a fucking loser.
Aw, I like that guy. That's like the shit that I write in like my journals. Like I have my notebook that was 4 jokes, and then I just started journaling in it, and I like went back to read it, and I was like, this guy was in a lot of pain. I was looking through it, I'm like, wow, dude, wow.
I feel like Brendan started turning all of his joke books into journals after watching the Shandling doc, so he could, so he could be like, "Hi guys, just in case you want to read all my work at some
For
point
sure.
and unearth
Yeah.
it later
For
on."
sure.
If you want a better
It's-
understanding for the ravenous pain I'm going through on a day-to-day basis,
Yes.
You guys could check
Which
these out.
I've written in the journal. I'm like, is this a facade? Is this whole thing I'm doing is it like a narcissistic facade? You know,
Partly,
I'm going
yes.
through my own fucking demons here, guys, and you just can't laugh through it.
We can and we will.
It's weird for me because with journals, sometimes it'll be like, it's different when I guess where it's like joke books where you just kind of free write and stuff. But with like journals, I'm like, you know, a part of me once if I'm done with it, and I haven't really journaled a lot in my life, but there was like a period where I just was like doing it every day. And then once I fill it up, I'm like, I guess I'll hold on to this for the rest of my life and then at some point read it again. Like it seems like one of those things where it would be best if you wrote everything down like an angry like letter that you're writing and then at the end you just burned the book at the end of it.
Some people do that as like a ceremony. However, there is value in going back and reading the type of pain you were in and then kind of gauging where you're currently at, because you know Brendan's constant life is a suicide note, so I bet he's probably thought he's in a similar place, but then he reads that and he's like, oh, I'm less killy of myself than I was.
Yeah. I honestly, as I was reading it, I was like, it was that feeling of like, oh, I don't feel that way anymore. And I'm like, wow, this is so crazy. And the more specific you get with where your life is now, it's like, it is kind of like a time capsule. I'm just reading it and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that chick. I remember that dude. And I remember when this happened here or that time that I got upset about this.
I mean, isn't it hilarious that you like looked at that from 3 months ago and you're having these major life shifts where you're like, oh, I don't think that anymore. Wow, that's crazy. I said that. And then people are taking stuff from 10 years ago and being like, so this is your current state of mind, eh? And it's like, I don't know. It could have been a split second of me being an asshole and I have just no memory or real stake in what I said at all.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think
just
that's
said
also
something.
another weird thing about the journal. It's like when to go back and read it. Like I know people that are like, oh, right before I journaled this day, I read yesterday's, and other people like I wait 3 years and then reread it, and you're like, it's such a weird. There's no
personal
time.
taste.
Yeah.
It's
like sometimes like why I reread it was I was just flipping through the pages and I just stopped and I just started reading it and I was like, oh, okay, this guy needs a fucking Zoloft.
Do you know what so this is similar where like so right before I started doing the Peloton, new sponsor, but I took like a picture of my shitty body and I promised myself that I wasn't going to look at it. I'd try to forget it as best as possible. And then like now I'm at like 8 weeks of doing it and I took another picture and now I have compared and contrast and I feel good about it. But if I was like going through every single day and like lifting my stomach and looking at the picture of like 4 days ago to a week ago to 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, it's like watching something grow up in front of you. You have no gauge for the growth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was thinking about Pelotons yesterday. I was like, everybody's getting them now.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, if you got an extra 2,500, by all means. Well, I didn't get one.
And then the monthly subscription.
Yeah, but I think that's like $10. But
It's like 50.
Here's the thing. It's not mine. It's my mother-in-law's. I don't think I'm not in the position to get one of those. But I think after using it this much, I would do it because I don't feel the need to go to the gym at all. It's like it's a full body thing for the most part, and it's I don't know. I don't need to be big anymore. I'm just a biker sipping a latte on the side of the road wearing a Tide onesie.
Every once in a while you're down here. Every once in a while you're over here.
Yeah. No hands, just showing the world that I have control of my bicicleta.
I think we got time for one or two more questions.
We do, but thank you everybody for listening. Thank you. Pass the word around. This is a completely word of mouth pod. We have the social media, so follow us there. Everything can be found at here'sascenario.com. Also, write a review. That's huge for us. Huge. We're trying to get that rolling. You guys know us from our other podcast, Irish Goodbye. Brendan had garbage days. We do, we're all over the map. We're everywhere, but we need your support just to launch this show even even further in its early stages. So we also have the Patreon, patreon.com/scenariopod. Again, we do an additional episode exactly like this with hypotheticals every single week. It actually comes out on the same day on Wednesdays. And then Fridays, we have a show called Blunts with the Boys, where it's the three of us extremely high, just kind of stream of consciousness, going through the internet, talking, having a loose, fun time. I do a solo podcast up there, not every single week, but as much as humanly possible. Sagalow and Feeney put up their sketches early, and I put up a bunch of stand-up and all that stuff as well.
Can I just read some random reviews on our thing? Because there's way more reviews than I expected.
Sure. We're also just, I guess, is like we're gonna watch Kong versus Zilla.
Oh yeah,
do a little watch along with that on the we're watching old KK versus ZZ or whatever GZ on the Patreon. So get on it, man.
Feeney's face was so disgusted.
I know, whatever.
It's just G.
GZ.
No, Godzilla is one word.
GDZ is what I would put on a license plate if I were to be shortening Godzilla.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Why? It would be GDZLA.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. So you just added more.
Yes, but I took away from the original word. Because GDZ, people would be like goods and services.
Gods.
Like what? Yeah.
Yeah, hey, whatever. It's not. Yeah. Okay.
Jess1133 said, so happy to see that more people will get to enjoy this amazing podcast. Love the Patreon. Can't wait for the world to hear. Keep up the great work. You deserve all the success, which I love to see
Jess.
that. Let's see. We got and a lot of just very nice things. Best of the best. You love a good title. Brendan, Mike, and Mike are the greatest trio in comedy. As a Patreon subscriber, I couldn't be more excited for them to be joining the Laugh Button. They're the highlight of my week every single week. Between all the content they put out together in their individual projects, you can't beat it. That's from Sarah Hagen-Miller.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Hell yeah.
And these are really
Sarah's
great.
OG.
I'm a Patreon member, and these guys have helped me survive the quarantine almost literally. They're so funny and talented and genuine. Listen to them before they blow up. People have been saying that for years, but thank you.
People
anyway.
have been saying that for years.
Let's just do a whole podcast reading positive stuff about ourselves because I feel good for the first time in weeks.
I could really
love
use this.
Cannon and Feeney are so funny and genuine. Love everything they do. Irish Goodbye, Patreon, Instagram, their specials, and seeing their live stand-up. Adding Sagalow into the mix makes for a hysterical trio. Also love Feeney and Sagalow's weekly sketches. So look at that. Everybody's very great.
Brendan was about to get pissed.
I know. That's why I purposely slowed down the first part so that he would have to be like, the fuck is this bullshit?
I've actually read all of these reviews, so I know it already. So you don't read you guys aren't invested in this?
Of course, we're invested in this.
Yeah, we don't walk away from the show while it's recording, but
but you're looking at your stupid phone.
We don't go
reading.
to CVS to buy
reviews.
a fucking Capri Sun in the middle of the show.
I wish I went to the store to get some fucking Skittles and got shot before coming back here. Whoops.
Free episode.
Wow.
The free episode.
Here's the last one. The best trip. I will literally listen to anything you guys are a part of. The dynamic never gets old. It makes my miserable 9 to 5 bearable. So thanks, boys. Well, thank
That's
you.
what
all
we're doing it
leaving
for.
Reviews.
That's what we're doing it for. Hoping to help you guys through your day. It's the same for us. We survive off of being able to do this show for you guys. It's so much fun, and the support on the Patreon and on here and on social media and all that stuff is literally everything to us. So we appreciate you right back. And let's do a few more questions.
Yes. Here we go. Would you rather watch your parents have sex or have sex in front of your parents?
Ooh, I was going to say we've done this before, but that's a different one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking.
I've never been walked in on.
I've never been walked in on either, but I think I would rather have them watch me have sex because I don't want to watch them have sex, but it's like, if they're watching, you could be like, all right, like I could focus on her.
Aren't you proud of your baby boy?
Yeah, there is kind
Look
of
what
that,
you created. Look what he's laying down.
I would finish before they both walked in.
Look, Mom, I'm a feminist. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, she's like, my little boy makes them come first.
That a boy, Brendan, just like I taught you.
Just like I taught you on me.
Some parents teach their boy how to ride a bike. I taught my boy how
How to ride his mom. How to ride a dike.
I knew you were gonna ruin it. I knew it.
That ruined it?
That ruined it.
Oh man, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Brendan's background also, as he moves, flickers in the background like an alien thing, and I'm like getting we should put a seizure warning at the front of this episode.
Imagine Brendan isn't in a hotel at all in Boston. He just made up this entire movie experience and just green screened a hotel in his own room.
The background flickers and you see my apartment and you're like, wait, what?
Did you make up that you're in an indie?
I'm like in the Wizard of Oz. I'm like, what? No, don't pay attention to the background.
Pay no attention to that man behind the green screen.
We got rhyme for one more.
We got rhyme for railroad. All right. So this original question is about Brad and Angelina, but I'm just changing it to make it actually hard. Is if a guy was holding a gun and it was about to kill Leonardo DiCaprio or Eminem, but he asked you to save one of the two, who would it be?
I'd save Leo. Yeah, I'd have him put
wasn't
six
even a
in
hesitant.
Marshall's head.
But Eminem's got kids, man.
They're done.
Well, Leo's
They're
definitely
grown.
got some kids out there, but that's also
Leo has kids to fuck.
Yeah. Also, it seems like Eminem, like that would only help his lore.
Right.
Yeah,
If he were to get shot as a rapper, it's like that's the real only ending of a good, of a greatest of all time rapper.
Yeah.
It is going to be funny to watch Eminem be 60 years old and like come out with a diss track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of like Miley Cyrus's son.
Who's named Cactus or something.
Yeah.
Cactus Cyrus.
Yeah. Cactus Cyrus. It's fucking great. Eminem's rhyming things with hemorrhoid donut. He's like, get in off my hemorrhoid donut.
Flow
So
nuts.
what? So what? My low nuts hit the. Yeah.
Be on the lookout for Brendan's next EP. He's
What's up,
definitely
what's up?
genuinely rapping these days. So it's
Wait,
gonna be
why do you
exciting.
say that? You were so nice about it when I sent you the
I know.
song.
But are you not genuinely rapping?
I am. Yeah.
Sure. And is
Still
that
can't
not
think
a
of a name,
laughable, fun
though.
thing?
That is. It is fun. I'm just.
What was the terrible
I'm a
name
big
you said
wound.
you were going to use for a bit there?
I don't remember the terrible name. I said I
Yeah.
remember Cannon came up with a name that I thought was good that I think you guys said was terrible. Was Street Fred, which I thought
Fred?
was really, yeah, like street cred, but Fred.
Oh, I get it. But there was another
I think I
one.
said street bread because that makes more sense considering you're
I
made
thought you
up of
said
it.
something too about like something, some play on Sagalow or something where you were like, I don't know what it was, but I remember you were like Kit
Sag-
Cagalow or something like something
no.
crazy. Yeah,
what?
it was
Kit
it was-
Cagalow?
yeah,
I could
it was
see that.
something
That's
so
definitely
awful.
Brendan's idea.
Yeah, I'm Kid Cagalow. Kid Cagalow.
Pants
Kit Cagalow, Sagalow coming in with the flagalow.
Got my mag hello.
Got my mega hello.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Wow. We love you. See you next
Love you
week.
guys.
Bye.
The scenario. Here's the scenario.
Here's the Scenario is Mike Feeney, Mike Cannon, and Brendan Sagalow. Executive producers Robert Kelly and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button Podcasts. For more information about the show, visit here'sthescenario.com.